Okay, let's talk about a skill that is becoming absolutely essential: how to get exactly what you want from AI tools like Gemini or ChatGPT. We're going to break down the art of crafting the perfect instruction, a skill that's called prompt engineering. I'm sure you've been there, right? You ask an AI for something you think is super specific, but what you get back is, well, it completely misses the point. It's a really common and kind of frustrating experience. So, for instance, a simple prompt like, "Describe what's happening in this video," it'll often get you a super generic response. Yeah, the AI's description is technically correct, but it's totally flat. It misses all the nuance, the context, maybe the names of the people involved, all the stuff that actually matters. This is the exact communication gap we are going to fix today. But there is a way to bridge that gap. And listen, it's not about being some tech wizard or a programmer. It's really just about learning a new way to ask. And it's called prompt engineering. So, what in the world is prompt engineering, really? At its core, it's just the skill of designing your instructions, your prompts, to guide an AI to the exact result you're looking for. You should think of it less like coding and more like being a really great manager. You're just giving clear, effective directions to get some high-quality work done. Simple as that. And you know what the best part is? There's a set of proven techniques for this, and a lot of them come straight from Google's own research. So we're going to walk through 7 of them right now. This is going to be your new toolkit for talking to pretty much any AI. All right, first up, keep it simple. You want to give the AI one and only one clear task for every prompt. If you try to ask it to do 2 or 3 things at once, it is way more likely to get confused or just do a kind of mediocre job on everything. Focus is absolutely key here. And here is a perfect example of why this works so well. Asking an AI to both classify comments and write a summary in one single prompt, it can lead to a really messy output. A much better approach is to just split it. So first, you have the AI classify the comments. Then, in a totally separate prompt, you use that output, say only the positive comments, to write the summary. The result you get is so much more accurate and focused. Okay, technique number 2, order matters. It matters a lot. You see, large language models, they think sequentially. So if you give them information in a jumbled up order, you're pretty much setting them up to fail. You gotta lay out the breadcrumbs in a logical path for them to follow. Just look at this math problem. When the variables are presented all out of order, the AI can actually make a simple calculation mistake. But just by reordering the prompt to state the known value first, that y equals 100, and then building on that, the AI follows the logic perfectly and gets it right. The only thing that changed was the sequence. That's it. Now this next one, it might feel a little counterintuitive, but trust me, it's crucial. AIs respond way better to positive instructions, what they should do, than to negative ones. It's like when someone tells you, don't think of a pink elephant. It almost guarantees the first thing you're going to do is think of a pink elephant. For example, the negative command, don't use the word Google, often just fails. The AI will use the word anyway. But a tiny little shift in language to a positive frame, like avoid using the word Google, that works perfectly. The AI gets the goal and finds a creative workaround, using alphabet ink instead. See the difference? Sometimes the best way to explain what you want is to just show it. This is a technique called few-shot prompting, and it is incredibly powerful. Instead of just describing the task, you actually give the AI a few examples of the input and the kind of output you're looking for. The really critical point here is nuance. A sentence like, the movie was boring, but the ending was great, that's kind of tricky, right? Without examples, an AI might just pick one side. But by providing a few examples where we classify similar mixed reviews as neutral, we're essentially teaching the AI the rule. It can then apply that same logic correctly to our new sentence. So we can take this whole idea of providing examples even further. For really complex problems, don't just show the AI the final answer, show it the steps you took to get there. This powerful technique is called chain of thought prompting, and it's basically like teaching the AI how to reason. So instead of just giving it a final number, an example prompt can lay out the whole logical process, step by step. First, solve the exponent. Second, do the multiplication. Third, do the addition. By modeling this reasoning, you're encouraging the AI to show its work and follow a similar logical chain for your problem, and that dramatically reduces errors. This next one is a fun one. You can actually improve an AI's response in a big way just by giving it a persona. You just tell it to act as an expert, like a doctor, a financial analyst, or, as we're about to see, a software engineer. Without a persona, the AI might just spit out a bare answer. But by adding that one simple phrase, "You are a Google staff engineer," the entire response changes. It becomes more confident, it shows its work, it frames the answer with a sense of authority. This instruction basically primes the AI to access the most relevant information it has for that specific role. It's awesome. And for our last technique, we've got something a little surprising. It actually turns out that a little bit of encouragement can go a long way. Yeah, researchers have found that adding simple motivational phrases can actually improve an AI's performance. I know, it sounds pretty strange, but the data actually backs it up. Simply adding a phrase like, "You can do it, do your best," can lead to more detailed and accurate responses. It's a quirky but surprisingly effective trick to have in your back pocket. So, these 7 techniques are going to be your core toolkit. But what happens when a task requires information the AI just doesn't have in its training data, like what's the weather right now? For that, you need to give the AI access to external tools. This is where a more advanced feature called function calling comes in. It essentially gives the AI permission to go use another program to find an answer. So if you ask for today's weather in Tokyo, instead of just guessing based on old data, the AI can actually ping a live weather service and give you the real, up-to-the-minute forecast. This just dramatically expands what an AI is capable of doing. So that's it. That is your new AI superpower. Just remember the keys. Focus on one task at a time, present your info logically, use positive do commands, provide clear examples, show your thought process, assign an expert role, and hey, don't forget a little motivation. You know, mastering these techniques really changes your relationship with AI. You go from being a passive user who's just kind of hoping for a good result to being an active director, guiding the AI to create exactly what you envision. So the only question left is, now that you speak the language, what will you build with it?